Spain, 1478. A land where Christians, Muslims, and Jews have lived in tolerance for centuries. But that time is ending. A young king and queen bent on immortality proclaim themselves the Catholic monarchs and start an inquisition. Jews who had converted to Christianity are accused of secretly sabotaging the Christian faith. Thousands perish in a ritual called the Act of Faith. The assassination of the Inquisitor sets off a wave of reprisals. Mothers will die to protect their children, and the highest in the land will pay the ultimate price. It is the beginning of the Spanish Empire, and a long dark night that will last for centuries. The Iberian Peninsula in the Middle Ages is unique. Isolated from the rest of Europe by the impassable mountains of the Pyrenees, for more than 1,000 years Iberia has been home to a rich intermingling of cultures. Christians, Muslims, and Jews have lived side by side in Iberia for centuries, tolerant of each other in their convivencia, a practical coexistence. They sing each other's songs, they enjoy each other's cuisines, and they all play chess, a board game introduced by the Muslims. One 13th century king even calls himself the Emperor of the Three Religions, and he commissions a folio of chess problems that reflects the multicultural nature of his kingdom. Convivencia set Iberia apart. Nowhere in Europe has a nation been so enriched with the gifts of different cultures in education, art, science, and medicine. But by 1478, times are changing in Iberia for the worse. A storm of horror is about to descend on the people. There will be no escape from its vicious web of interrogation, betrayal, torture, condemnation, and death. Soon, Jaime de Montesa, the highest judge in Zaragoza, will feel the terror of these changing times himself. And for love, Sinfa Casavi and her husband will pay the ultimate price. The time of tolerance has passed. Iberia is in turmoil. Iberia is not yet the nation we know as Spain. The north is divided among the Christian kingdoms of Aragon, Castile, and Navarre. The Moors control the Muslim stronghold of Granada in the south. And there's a power struggle for the throne of Castile. One claimant to the Kingdom of Castile is the 18-year-old Princess Isabella. Deeply pious, Isabella sees everything through the prism of her faith. She will become known as Isabella la Católica. Faith guides the citizens of the realm. Sinfa Kasavi is deeply pious too, but she is a Jew. Sinfa's visit to the mikveh, the ritual baths, is a sacred Jewish preparation for marriage. She submerges herself 6 times to purify herself so that God will bless and sanctify her with health, wisdom, and prosperity.
The wedding was scheduled for the spring. 3 days before my wedding, I took my bride's bath. I purified myself at the mikveh.
Sinfa is about to marry her childhood sweetheart. Isabella is about to marry someone she's never met. It is a marriage she prays will unite the kingdoms of Castile and Aragon. Prince Ferdinand of Aragon runs a gauntlet of castles and forts held by enemy nobles. For his personal safety, the prince is disguised as a servant. Marrying Ferdinand will strengthen Isabella's chances to gain the throne of Castile. It will lead eventually to the unification of their kingdoms. The wedding of Isabella and Ferdinand, although politically motivated, is charged with all the passion and intrigue of an illicit affair. They are teenagers. She's 18, he's 17. Sinfa Kasavi and Jacob Abankuka married first as Christians in the cathedral. But now they have a second, secret wedding in the Jewish tradition. From the transcript of Sinfa Kasavi.
That day, we all met in my father's house, all my family and my sweetheart's family. They brought many presents. They filled my house with flowers and brought delicious meats for the meal of that day. All this was the prelude to the happiness, harmony, and peace that were awaiting us in our life together. The day I got married was the happiest of my life. I was very pretty. I was dressed in beautiful clothes. I was radiant with happiness.
Jews have lived in Iberia for over a millennium, since the first arrived with the Roman legions. But since the 14th century, the Jews have come under attack from Catholic zealots. (1391). Priests call for the compulsory conversion of the Jews. Riots against Jews spread across the land. Facing the choice, convert or die, the Jews must make life and death decisions on the spot. Many choose baptism and survival. Through the 1400s, following further pogroms and a series of increasingly restrictive laws, forcing the Jews to live in ghettos and wear distinctive clothing, nearly half the Jews of Iberia change faiths. The Jews who convert become known as New Christians, or conversos.
Well, some people converted because they had swords to their throats and they had a choice of converting or dying. Other people were offered the opportunity of social mobility or economic mobility. Many converted because they fell in love with someone who was Catholic, and the only way they could marry them was to convert to Catholicism.
The distinction between conversos and old Christians will be legally sanctioned in Spain for the next 3.5 centuries. But in the 15th century, conversion offers opportunities for advancement to positions of power and prominence in the royal court that had been denied to Jews. The old Christians grow jealous of the conversos' success.
By the 1450s, Spanish Catholics discovered that the converts had become the new urban middle class. They were dominant in business, they were dominant in some of the professions like being scribes and accountants, and they felt that they were being railroaded by these upstarts.
(1478), a royal baptism. Finally, Isabella and Ferdinand can look forward to the unification of their two kingdoms. After 8 years of marriage, they have a long-awaited son, Prince Juan, heir to Aragon and Castile. The event is seen as so important that chroniclers herald the baby Juan as the second Messiah. In the home of conversos Constanza de Perpignan and Manuel de Almazan, a secret ritual takes place. Their child was baptized in the Christian manner at the cathedral when he was born.